Everybody's looking like, who the hell is that? The 6'6", 295 pound with wearing the jacket and the shades and the swag, and everybody's looking around like, who the hell is that? And Dusty knew already. When Dusty saw him, he popped. And as he saw me coming, he just walked right into his thing, but he laughed out loud.
So basically, it's just sharing favorite Scott Hall memories, going from Razor to the NWO version, even back in AWA days, even before that. How instrumental was he to the Attitude Era? And then Vince, you did working with Vince, did you work with him in TNA?
Yeah, I worked with him at all three companies. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you did. Wow. So WWE, WCW, and TNA. Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Vince, so I'll let you go first, man, from working with him in three companies. I'll let you. Well, Paige, did you work with him in AWA too?
No, I missed him in the AWA, but I worked with him in Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah,
when Dusty went down there, Dustin Rhodes was 19 years old. Terry Funk was there. Johnny Ace, Marcus Laurinaitis as a Terminator. God, it was a lot. It was Dusty's crew he brought in, and that was the first time I ever worked with Dusty.
Very nice. Vince, working with them
I've got a good segue into that. So go ahead.
Nice. Vince, three companies, man. Scott Hall, you worked with him a lot, man. I know you have a bunch of memories. What's one that sticks out?
Well, yeah, bro, it's funny because it's not really a wrestling memory. Bro, I got to tell you what really sticks out to me, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, okay? Bro, the Clique, bro, they had a ton of heat with the boys backstage. A ton of heat. I mean, bro, they had their own locker room, and, bro, they put the Clique on the door. Like, they had a ton of heat. And then there was that other crew, bro, that was like Rikishi and Taker.
Yeah, BSK.
Bro, they had a ton of heat. But, bro, I got to tell you, because this is what affected me more than anything. Like, this was the first wave that came over me. Bro, you don't see this in wrestling a lot. But those guys, I'm talking about Scott, Hunter, Sean, Kevin, those guys, bro, Sean Waltman, two Sean. Bro, there was such a love for each other with these guys. And, bro, you don't get that in wrestling because it's competition. You're competing against each other. Everybody wants the spot. But these guys, bro, had such a love for each other, bro, that just, it really was a brotherly love. And I swear to God, bro, when I heard of his passing, I immediately went to Kevin and Sean and Paige. I immediately went to, like, the people whose lives were really, really, really going to be affected by this. And like I said, Chris, the reason being, bro, come on, I've been in the business since 91. You don't experience friendship at this level. It's very rare. And I mean, immediately, bro, I thought of Kevin. I thought of Paige, who did so much for this guy. And the fact that I knew all of these guys very well, and I got along with all of them very well, that really tells me more than anything the type of guy Scott was. Because, like, I had a great relationship with Sean and Kevin and Paige and all these guys. And for those guys to love Scott as much as they did, you really knew that he was a real special person. And that's the thing that hit me first, bro. Just the bond that these guys had. I really never saw with anybody else.
Yeah, yeah. Paige, what year did you first meet Scott Hall?
As soon as Dusty came, when Ted Turner bought everything and was going to change the name from the NWA, it was Mid-South, it was a bunch of territories. When he came in and bought that, they wanted Dusty to turn heel. They weren't going to let him take the book anymore. They wanted him to turn heel. And he was like, that ain't happening. And he went to Florida. And Mike Graham called me up. And I'd met him once. I made a show when my car broke down. And long story short, he put me with Dusty. And we bonded immediately. And so now, in his words, he's going to make me the Jesse Ventura of the 90s. And I'm like, Dusty, man, I mean, I can manage, I can talk, but I don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. And he said, don't worry about it, baby. Gordon Foley gonna walk you through it all. And he did. And one of the first people I met besides Johnny Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, was Scott Hall. Because I had seen him in the AWA and I just missed him. And we became buds. We had each other's numbers. And then, I mean, literally, it was years later. Scott had he was just coming back from Germany and working for Otto Wanz. WCW wouldn't take his call. WWF wouldn't take his call because he'd been Magnum Scott Hall. He'd been Gator Scott Hall. He'd been, he had like 4 names. It was kind of like Kevin Nash. Had all these gimmicks, and all it takes is the right thing to be able to, in Scott's time, for Scott, it was more about playing a character who became Scott Hall. Kevin, it was just taking Kevin and amping him up. But I was managing the Freebirds, and I get a call one night, and I moved up here. I'm living in a buddy's of mine's room. Went from running nightclubs and friggin' living the Diamond Dallas Page's life to now I'm living in my buddy's room because I'm following this dream. And Scott Hall calls me up and he's like, Dally, you need 6'6", 295 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. You need a giant with you so you don't look like Andre the Giant with those tiny little Freebirds. That's just Scott's humor, And I was like, wow, man, that would be amazing. He goes, I'm the Diamond Stud. Because I'd given that gimmick to Johnny Laurinaitis and Marcus Laurinaitis. And we were just playing with it, and Scott knew about it. So this is like 2.5 years later, he's calling me, remembering the Diamond Stud. And I said, let me make a call. And I called Magnum TA, and I was like, Mags, I just got off the phone with Scott Hall. He just got back from Germany. He could be the Diamond Stud. He goes, I love Scott Hall. He goes, I've always liked him. And this is a guy who had the same gimmick at one point, But he still went to Dusty. And Dusty shot it down. He's like, I love him, but he's been here 3 times and he didn't get over. And Magnum came back to me and told me that, and I was like, Mags. Now, I didn't tell Scott this yet. I said, I've got this idea. I really think I can make him look like you won't recognize him. He said, you won't recognize him? How am I going to not recognize Scott Hall? I said, you got to trust me, bro. I said, please, just give us a dark match. Just give us a dark match. And he said, he's going to fly himself up. I said, he's going to drive up from Orlando. He goes, make it happen. So I call Scotty up and I go, bro, they passed. Oh, just like, whoa. And I said, but I got an idea. I said, I ran it by Magnum. I didn't tell him what it was. I just got him to be able to, he will bring you up here if you don't look like you. He goes, how the hell are we going to do that? I said, for starters, let's dye your hair jet black. Honky tonk. Now, if you look into WWE right now, or really wrestling in general, there is a ridiculous amount of guys with long black hair. Like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But back then, not so much. And only guy who had blue black hair was Honky Tonk. So that's why I sold him one. Blue black, that blue Elvis, black, blue black hair. And he goes, oh, all right, I'll do it. Now, go to bed. Now, I'm watching MTV. I'm a nightclub guy. I ain't going to bed before 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So I'm watching MTV, and up comes George Michael. And he's got that leather, friggin' patent leather thing on. But what I saw was the 5 o'clock shadow, which on Scott came around 2 o'clock. And all anybody saw was that walrus mustache. So I call him up. It's 2 in the morning. He's like, I was just sharing this story with Cody last night, his son, because he was here. And his sister Cassidy was here, and his brother Jeff was here at my house. And I called him up, and he's like, Dally, what are you doing? My wife's pregnant. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I go, bro, I got to talk to you. He rolls out. He goes, what's up? I'm going to be there. I go, you got to shave that walrus mustache. What? You got to shave that walrus mustache. Oh, Dally, I've had that since I was like 15. I go, exactly. You got to shave that walrus mustache. I just saw, he always liked to, we used to call it, he called it Rob Lowe. It was George Michael. I just saw George Michael. It's going to change everything. He shows up at my door. He left at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He shows up at my door in the morning. I said, you got to get here early because I got to make sure you look like you look. And he showed up, and he didn't have that mustache on. And I was like, oh, wow, oh, man. Oh, but he had the brownish hair. I go, the hair's not working. We're going to my girl. And that's why I wanted him there early. Did the hair black. I put him in a tank top that I had. He thought it was a rib. I put him in Cavaricis. I put him in loafers. I put him in black round sunglasses and a calf-long lamb hair coat I got up in New York City at some rock and roll place. And I put him on that, and I said, you cannot change. Do not talk. Do not talk to anybody. He thought I was totally ribbing him, but he was letting me drive. And we got there. No, everybody's looking like, who the hell is that? The 6'6", 295 pound with wearing the jacket and the shades and the swag, and everybody's looking around like, who the hell is that? And Dusty knew already. When Dusty saw him, he popped. And as he saw me coming, he just walked right into his thing, but he laughed out loud. So we get there, and of course, he gets the job. By the next TV, I come up with these toothpicks as we're leaving Waffle House, and I give him the toothpick. And I got it in my mouth, he's got it in his mouth, and we're walking. I go, dude, I got a great idea. At the end of the video, at the end of the interview, we both kick the toothpicks into the camera. Around 3/4 of the way through that promo, the toothpick's in my mouth. It falls out of my mouth, and I'm like, no, because I really wanted to do that. But the way he did it, when he saw that, and he did the whole ooh, and clicked it in the camera, it was like Bad Guy was born.
Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy.
So that was the early seeds to Razor Ramon.
Well, you tell me. This is what he looked like. You tell me where Razor Ramon was created. Okay? It was created right there. And in my 62 pink Cadillac that we drove to every show that we drove to, like in Atlanta, South. So whether it was Atlanta or South Carolina or wherever we had to drive 300 miles, that car made it, and he would roll his herb. He did not even drink back then. He would roll his herb, and he would do Scarface. One line, and we do them together sometimes. We go back and forth, like challenge each other. But that was just, it just became a part of him. And they wanted him to be, Vince told him he wanted him to be a G.I. Joe character. That was Vince's idea. That's what Scott told me. I don't know, I'm not, it came out of his mouth. So, and he said, well, you know, I got this other idea. And when he gave it to him and rolled in the character, Vince is like, that's it. And I love what the WWE did on the little tribute, because they did some of those vignettes that were so ingrained in your brain if you watched back then.
Yeah. Absolutely.